Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is that we competed and that we raised our standards in every way. You saw the team put the right effort in. I mean, in every moment, they were on a different level. They were disciplined, and their standards were higher.
What changed from last game to this game? What did you guys have to say to them as a coaching staff to try and get them to remember who they are and bring it to that level?
Yeah, I think we all were disappointed and even a little embarrassed by our performance against FIU, and that's not our standard, and that's not the player standard. They hold themselves to a higher standard. The coaching staff holds themselves to a higher standard. So we all got back to work, and came to this game with a response in mind. But the only thing that was going to be acceptable was a big response. And you know, if we passed the ball better, if we scored, you know, 1 goal, 0 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals, whatever it was, the important thing was how we played. And that was with passion, and that was with fight, and that was competing, and that was outworking our opponents, and that was doing everything more together. And all those things happened tonight.
Coming into this game, you made a few changes in your lineups, bringing in 4 different players. What was kind of the mindset in terms of that?
Well, it's every week, different players are performing in training. They get opportunities in games, and then their performances put them in a position where they're either going to be selected or you know, maybe it's a tactical adjustment. In this case, Caleb, who played our right back, you know, Kevin went in and played for him in this game. You know, Andreas was out and unavailable as a center back, so Owen Gusky came in. I think it's great that we had multiple players come in different positions, and that it's clear we have depth.
Speaking of that different position, you talked about the goalkeeper competition throughout the preseason and into now. Seeing Tyler play until he was injured, how did you think he was, and what's the prognosis early on?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Tyler had a really good game, and it was obviously a different game than FIU, but what he was asked to do, he managed that game really well. So really happy with Tyler. That's not to say that Matt didn't perform well against FIU. It's just, you know, because there's such a close competition, we're giving each one of those guys opportunities.
And how's the shoulder doing?
Don't know yet. Still kind of early on, especially when like there's that first acute injury. You have to give it some time before you really understand, okay, what's the extent of the injury. So that's still to be determined.
Now, some of the other guys that came in, you gave minutes to, like Josiah Ramirez, Franco Luello. Yeah. How did you feel some of those guys who haven't necessarily gotten the most playing time but have been here for a little bit had done?
I think they were excellent, and you can tell that they play in our system. Like they plugged right in, and their performances were exactly where I would expect them to be. And they came in and we didn't miss a beat.
How good was it to get Beto just some minutes at the very end of the game, considering he's been working back from injury?
Great. Obviously Beto all last year got better and better and played a bigger and bigger role every single game as we move forward last year. And so to get him going again, he's going to be really important for us.
So now looking ahead, you got a 2-game road swing coming up, your first of the season. How do you kind of go into that knowing that you're on the road for back-to-back games? I
think it's great. You know, we get this opportunity now to play 2 top teams in Virginia Tech and NC State, and those are the teams that we want to play. We want to measure ourselves against those teams, have opportunities to go and to compete and take points off those teams. So this is exactly what we want to do, because then we'll know exactly where we are.
Coach, it seemed like the momentum shifted once you started making substitutions. In your point of view, what did you see adjustment-wise from the guys?
I think more than anything, we just moved the ball better, and there were less unforced errors and when we started to really take hold of the game, and when there are less dribble turnovers, there are less passes that we missed, and when we start to really become cohesive in our build-up play, we're difficult to play against, and that's when we can really wear teams down with possession, open teams up with possession, and in this game we were able to do that.
And kind of building off of that question with Lucca being the way that he plays, the defense seemed to be kind of very sunk back, and it allowed Lucca to come into that space and start the offensive flow. Just comparatively to Jonas, who's more of a back to the goal kind of big guy striker, how much did that kind of change the game, just having him in there and being able to make that flow of the offense happen?
Well, so I think Lucca saw the space and found opportunities to come into that space to relieve pressure when they marked our midfielders and got really close to our midfielders. It's a real risk for a center back to follow Lucca that far, because if he gets it wrong, they're really exposed at the back. So Lucca helped relieve pressure, help us switch it out the other side. Jonas is perfectly capable of doing exactly that same thing. I think maybe he didn't quite see that space in the same way, so he played a little bit different, but I fully believe Jonas could and would do the same thing. And that's probably something we'll look at on video.
Coach, next 2 games, tough ones. How can you guys build off this momentum, and how do you see Virginia Tech's play style stacking up to you guys?
So, for one, two great teams. I think what our process is we're gonna look at this last game, and there are lots of opportunities for us to get better just from what we did here. Use that video and show, okay, these are the moments we can make better decisions. So I think that's the first part of the process. As far as Virginia Tech, though I know the coach really well, and we're really good friends, I haven't watched the video on them because we really had to focus on the team right in front of us. So we're gonna watch video, and we'll figure out a plan to compete come Friday. Yes, Friday.
And it's always great to start off with a clean sheet for the goalkeepers.
No, absolutely, and that's something that we have to continue to evolve in every way. And of course, our passing and our possession and the ability to open teams up is critical to what we do, but we also have to be really good on the other end. And so even in that game, there were some moments where I think we can still do things better. And I think if we keep learning, and this group continues to want to keep learning, then we're going to just keep getting better. And that's the most important thing.
Feels amazing. Couldn't get that without my teammates. After a bad result against FAU, now we could get a better game. We did a better job, and it feels amazing. We were ready for the next game.
Just going into this game, they played a different style than FIU did. It seemed like you were able to kind of find those pockets in the midfield. You came out from the forward position, and because the defense was playing such a far back line, it really opened up space for your teammates. What did you kind of see throughout the game, just in terms of that and finding that space?
We've seen a lot of videos of them playing, and I knew that I would have a lot of space in the middle, so I could get the ball a lot. And that was it. We worked a lot on that, and that was kind of easy for us to work in the middle, and it was so good. Tell by itself.
Take us through the first goal, first off, I guess, with Alessandro playing that ball into you, staying composed, getting it from your right to your left. Just walk us kind of through what you saw.
Well, it was really quickly. I don't think he see me enough, but it was a good pass, good movement we did, and good finish with a great goal.
And the second goal with Franco's cross into the box.
Yeah, it was a good cross. I was scared to put my head there, but it was a good cross. Almost 100% of goal was to Franco, and that's it.
So now scoring 2 goals after having that game or this past Thursday, how much of a confidence boon is it just for you and your teammates to finally not only score once, but score 5 times?
Yeah, he gives us a lot of confidence right now. We were really focused in this game. We had a lot of determination, and I know now it's gonna give us more. We're gonna work in the week, like chill and getting ready for the next game.
So going back to Thursday following that loss, what was the preparation looking like for this game? How much did you guys kind of feel like you let each other down almost? Coach was kind of talking about how there was a drive to kind of get back to form, because you guys know where you are, where you have been. How much was that kind of playing into this game?
We know that our team is one of the best in the country, and we talk a lot. We talk a lot in the group and things that we could do better. And as a result, said we did everything that UCF wanted us to do. And the results tell itself.
So now you go on the road, first 2 games on the road against decent opponents. What do you kind of? I know it's very short since you're finished out here, but what are you kind of looking for in terms of those games?
Big games. They're going to be good games. We're going to play against ACC teams, Virginia Tech and North Carolina. That's the type of game we want. We want to play with the best teams and with big divisions, and we are ready for it. We're ready for everyone.
It seemed the momentum changed once you got subbed in as the first sub. What did you and the team see as adjustments once you got in?
Well, the team is not 11. I knew that everybody that was in the bench could, anytime in the game, could getting in, try to do something, get the guys a new energy, and that happened with me, and I'm real happy with it.
All right, and again, tough game this Thursday against Virginia Tech. What do you expect the team to adjust as, it's kind of a contrast in playing styles against North Florida?
Well, against Florida, we didn't play well enough, as everybody knows that. They got in our head, but against Virginia Tech is the type of game we want to play, and we're really focused. We want to play against them and win.
Oh, it felt amazing. To get a goal in general is already awesome, but a bicycle kick, that one is pretty special. So I felt so happy to get it. I honestly couldn't believe it. As soon as it happened, I was like, I really just went in, but it did, and I was super excited for it.
Walk us through the buildup of the play. What did you kind of see when it came off the defender's head?
Yeah, so at the buildup, I had made my run into the midfield, and I was wide open on the right, and the play didn't really come to me, so I was like, oh no, like this is a chance I could have been more dangerous, so I'm not getting the ball right now, oh shoot. But then it flipped, a cross came in, and then the ball came off the defender's head, and I saw my chance. I saw the defender wasn't going to get there quick enough, and I'm not the tallest guy, so I figured, I got to use my feet on this one. I'm not the best at headers, so gotta do what I'm good at. So I went for the bicycle kick, and it worked out in the end.
Do you have a celebration plan? Did you kind of go through in your head when you weren't expecting it?
No, that's a great question. No, honestly, I am the worst at celebrations. So I scored my goal, and I just did whatever the first thought came to mind was. So I just jumped up in the air and gave a little fist pump. And then my girlfriend was in the stands, so I just gave her the heart, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
How did it feel to not only score in that instance, but just score in general? I mean, it's your first goal of the night.
Yes, yeah, exactly. No, it felt amazing. There wasn't, obviously the team, we already had 4 goals, and it was great, great team effort in general. But to come in, I really wanted to make an impact. Obviously, any player, as soon as you come into the game, you want to make an impact and be one of those guys. So it felt great just to come onto the game, and with not much time left, especially, I wanted to do what little I could. So getting a goal was just amazing in that moment.
And then building into this moment, you're putting the effort in and the hours into the training. How much has it been just kind of a grind because this team is so deep and have so many talented players? How much beneficial is it for you just to be able to get out on the field and get some playing time and show the coaching staff that you deserve it?
Exactly. No, that is another great question. Honestly, you hit it spot on. The team is amazing. Every guy works their butt off in training. Every guy is really technical, really, really good on the ball, and everyone works hard. For me personally, that's why I came to UCF. You know what I mean? Our program's amazing. I knew that I could develop personally just by having guys around me that are just as good. And iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean? I want to be the very best I can be so that my teammates can also improve themselves. But to come in and score, I love that. I want to prove to the coaches that I have what it takes also to be here and to help UCF through those tough moments. Obviously, we were already winning, but I hope that shows that I have something in me as well.
It's the second game of the season. You probably already have the goal of the entire season. How could you build off this momentum going up to North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. There's still a lot of soccer to be played. But no, honestly, building on momentum's huge. Like, this is a huge confidence booster for me personally. So when we travel to North Carolina, I just hope that the team continues on this momentum. For me personally, though, it's massive for me. So I'm going to be remembering this moment and being like, okay, like, I can do this. You know what I mean? That it's a huge boost of confidence. So just traveling to North Carolina, I think the 5-0 score, that's huge for us personally as a team. So we're ready. I think our confidence is going to be at an all-time high, and we just got to show what we're made of.
How much are you going to go back and watch that goal?
Oh, many times, many times. It'll be on Instagram, by the way, so you'll see it there too. But a lot.
Do you hope it's on the SportsCenter top 10?
Absolutely. We'll see. We'll check Twitter later on.